You ever hear a voice in your head that whispers, "You're not who you used to be," not loud, not dramatic, just subtle, almost like background noise in the hallway of your life. It shows up when you go to tie your shoes and feel out of breath. When you reach for the remote instead of walking across the room. When you look in the mirror and see someone softer, slower, quieter than you remember. That voice says, "This is just how it is now. You're getting older. Be careful. Don't push too hard," and maybe at some point, you believed it. You stopped lifting things that used to feel light. You stopped walking as far. You stopped standing as tall. You didn't give up, not exactly, you just pulled back. But here's what I need you to hear, man to man. That voice is lying to you. Your age is not your limit. It never has been. Your body didn't decide to slow down. It simply adapted to less movement, less recovery, less challenge, less belief. Because strength doesn't vanish with age. It fades from disuse, from inactivity, from a slow, quiet disconnection from your body. And you know what feeds that disconnection? Malnutrition, lack of sleep, stress. A life that's constantly reacting, instead of rebuilding. It's not the candles on your birthday cake that weakened you. It's the belief that they define you. I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, 80s, men who thought it was over. Until they lifted a grocery bag the right way. Until they walked a little farther than they thought they could. Until they woke up one morning, and didn't feel like crumbling. They didn't go back to being 30. They discovered something more powerful, the strength to stand tall as they are. So if you've been hearing that voice, if you've been wondering if this is just how it ends, let me be the voice that says, no, this is not the end of your strength. This is the moment you take it back. And it starts right here, not in a gym, not with a prescription, but in the space between your ears, and the fire that still lives in your chest. Most men don't lose their strength all at once. It doesn't happen in a day, or even a year. It happens in quiet trades, subtle exchanges that feel reasonable in the moment, but cost more than we ever realize. You stop lifting heavy things. Not because you can't, but because no one asks you to anymore. You stop pushing your body. Not because you failed, but because the world stopped expecting it of you. You stopped standing tall, looking people in the eye, leading conversations, initiating connection, because some part of you started believing, that version of me doesn't belong here anymore. And without meaning to, you trade your strength for comfort. You trade your movement for caution. You trade your energy for stillness. And eventually, you begin to confuse stillness with safety. But here's the thing no one told you, the body doesn't retire. It responds. If you stop challenging your muscles, they shrink. If you stop feeding your body protein, it stops repairing. If you stop moving with purpose, your joints get stiff. If you stop standing like a man with strength, your nervous system believes you don't need it anymore. It's not age. It's signaling. Your body isn't betraying you. It's obeying you. Every skipped meal, every slouched posture, every passive evening where your body isn't asked to engage, is a message you send to your biology. We're done building. But you're not. Not even close. I've seen men turn this around in 5 days. Not with heavy weights or strict diets, but by changing the message. By choosing new signals. They stood up tall. For 2 minutes a day they did 5 push-ups against the kitchen counter. They ate 20 grams of protein before 8 a.m. They walked with purpose, even just down the driveway, and their body responded. Not because they were trying to be young again, but because they were finally asking for strength, instead of waiting for it to return on its own. You don't need permission to get stronger. You don't need someone to hand you back your power. Because you never lost it. You just stopped using it. And now, it's time to reclaim it. Let's get something straight, your body doesn't stop building strength because of age. It stops building strength because it stops getting the signal. That's not a theory. That's biology. Here's what I mean. After age 30, yes, muscle mass naturally declines if left unchecked. Testosterone gradually lowers. Recovery takes a bit longer. But here's the truth that most men never hear. Muscle fibers still respond. Testosterone can still rise. Your nervous system can still rewire. Even in your 60s. Even in your 70s. Even into your 80s. Your body is a response machine. It listens to what you do, not how old you are. Let's break it down. DNA, muscle and resistance. Every time you lift something, whether it's a dumbbell or a grocery bag, you activate your muscle fibers. When you challenge them, even lightly, you signal your body to repair and grow. It doesn't matter if it's been years. The mechanism still works. Even 2 sets of bodyweight squats, a few times a week, can restore muscle density, balance, and coordination. Biceps testosterone and movement testosterone is not just about libido. It's your motivation hormone. It supports focus, energy, recovery, and mood. And while testosterone does dip naturally with age, it responds powerfully to certain inputs. Resistance training, deep sleep, protein intake, sunlight lowered cortisol, stress hormone. So if your strength has faded, it's not that your body gave up. It's that you may have stopped giving it the raw materials it needed to build it back. Brain neuroplasticity, rewiring for power. Even your brain, which controls your balance, coordination, posture, and power, remains trainable. Every time you move with intention, you create new neural connections. That's why even simple exercises like walking heel to toe, standing on one leg, or reaching over your head can dramatically improve your stability and presence. Your brain is not cement. It's a living, learning, adapting system until your very last breath. So no, strength does not retire. You don't lose it because of a number. You lose it because the signals go quiet. But they're still wired in you. Still available. The fire hasn't gone out. It's just waiting for fuel. And when you start moving with purpose again, when you start feeding your body what it needs, when you stop treating your age like a limit, you'll see it. Feel it. And believe it, you were never out of strength. You were just out of rhythm. Jerome was 73 when he walked into my office. Soft-spoken. Neatly dressed. The kind of man who looked you in the eye, shook your hand firm, and said, "Doc, I'm not here for a miracle. I'm just here because I don't feel like myself anymore." He wasn't in pain. He wasn't sick. He wasn't falling apart. But he felt invisible. Detached from his body. Like the strong, steady man he used to be was fading, slowly, quietly, and he didn't know how to stop it. "I don't need to feel young," he told me. "I just want to feel capable again." I asked him about his day. Wake up at 7. Coffee, no breakfast. Read the news. Maybe a short walk. Lots of sitting. A sandwich at noon. TV in the evening. Sleep, restless, broken, by 11. No weights. No stretching. No challenge. No fuel. But here's the thing about Jerome, he hadn't given up. He just didn't know where to start. So I gave him one mission: let's not go big. Let's go consistent. For the next 6 weeks, he followed a simple routine. Checkmark: morning, drink warm water, eat 1 bowl of Greek yogurt with chia seeds and walnuts, do 5 wall push-ups and a 30-second standing posture reset. Checkmark: midday, take a 10-minute walk after lunch, carry something with purpose, a laundry basket, a shopping bag, a gallon of water. Checkmark: evening, stretch for 5 minutes before bed, no screens after 9 p.m. Write down one thing he was proud of that day, no matter how small. That was it. No gym. No supplements. No secret formulas. Just signals. Sent to a body that had been waiting for years to receive them. Week 2, he told me, "Doc, I'm sleeping better. First time in a while." Week 4, "I don't feel like I'm dragging my body through the day. I'm inside it again." Week 6, he sat across from me, smiled, and said, "I don't feel young. But I feel steady." And honestly, that means more. That's what strength looks like after 60. Not six-pack abs. Not bench pressing 200 pounds. But presence. Ownership. The ability to move through your day with quiet power. Jerome didn't reclaim his youth. He reclaimed his belief in himself. And that changed everything. So if you've been where Jerome was, disconnected, unsure, fading, you don't need to do everything. You just need to start sending the signal, I'm still here, and I'm not done. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to lift heavy weights. And you definitely don't need to go hard to get your strength back. What you need is a spark. A pattern interrupt. A 5-day reset that tells your body, we're not coasting anymore, we're rebuilding, starting now. Because strength doesn't begin with a barbell. It begins with your belief, your breath, and your behavior, repeated day after day, gently but deliberately. So here's what I give my patients over 60 who say, Doc, I'm ready, but I need something that fits where I'm at. It's called the 5-day awakening. And it works. Not because it's extreme, but because it's honest, doable, and it builds momentum fast. Spiral calendar day 1. Wake up tall, checkmark as soon as you get out of bed, stand at attention for 60 seconds. Feet shoulder width apart. Shoulders rolled back. Chin parallel to the floor. Breathe deep, in through your nose, out through your mouth. This isn't exercise. This is posture reactivation. You're reminding your nervous system, I stand. I take up space. I lead today. Spiral calendar day 2. Eat to rebuild checkmark within 30 minutes of waking, eat 20 grams of protein. No skipping, no just coffee. Try. 2 eggs plus a slice of whole grain toast, 1 cup Greek yogurt plus walnuts, cottage cheese plus banana slices. Protein is the building block of recovery, and the signal your testosterone needs to rise again. It's not optional. It's fuel. Spiral calendar day 3. Lift something with intention, checkmark. Pick up something slightly heavy, with purpose. A laundry basket. A grocery bag. A gallon of water. Hold it. Move it. Set it down gently. This tells your muscles, we're still working. It also tells your mind, I'm not done contributing. Even 5 reps matters. The body only asks for a signal, not perfection. Spiral calendar day 4. Walk like you mean it, checkmark. Take a 10-minute walk, but do it differently. Stand tall. Roll your shoulders. Look up, not down. This is strength in motion, and it trains your balance, posture, and mindset in one shot. It's not about steps. It's about presence. Spiral calendar day 5. Wind down with authority, checkmark. 1 hour before bed, shut off your screens. Sit with silence. Stretch. Sip warm water. Write down one way your body served you today, no matter how small. This is where recovery begins. Because growth doesn't happen during the day. It happens at night, if you allow it. Sleep is where testosterone resets. Where inflammation calms. Where your system repairs itself without you lifting a finger. But only if you give it the chance. Repeat button. What happens next? By the end of day 5, you may notice better posture, clearer mornings, less resistance to movement, a quiet sense of control returning to your body, and maybe a glimpse of the man you used to feel like, not younger. Just stronger from the inside out. This is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, consistently, with intention. Because your strength isn't waiting at the gym. It's waiting in your routine. Your breath. Your choices. Your willingness to begin again, softly but deliberately. And 5 days is enough to begin. Let me ask you something honest. When you hear the word strength, what do you picture? A 6-pack? Heavy weights? Some guy in a tank top flexing at the gym? That's not strength. That's marketing. Real strength, the kind that matters after 60, doesn't always show up in your biceps. It shows up in your presence. In how you move. In how you speak. In how you carry yourself through the day. And when your strength starts to return, you'll feel it long before anyone sees it. Here's how you'll know. Checkmark: you stand taller. Without thinking about it, your body stops folding forward. Your chest opens. Your gaze lifts. Why? Because your postural muscles are waking back up. And your nervous system is learning that it doesn't have to hide anymore. This doesn't take hours of training. It takes signals of dignity, repeated daily. Checkmark: you breathe deeper and slower. Most men in decline don't realize they've been shallow breathing for years. High stress, high caffeine, low oxygen. But when your strength returns, so does your breath. Your body feels safer. And in that safety, you breathe like a man again, full, grounded, unrushed. That's not just lung capacity. That's nervous system regulation. Checkmark: you notice yourself initiating again, not just physically. Emotionally. You reach out first. You take the lead in conversation. You look your partner in the eye and speak with steadiness. This is the quiet power most men miss. Not dominance, but presence. When your testosterone begins to balance and your energy steadies, you stop sitting back. You step forward, not aggressively, but confidently. Checkmark: you feel like moving, without being told, not for exercise. For ownership. You want to stretch. You want to carry something without grunting. You want to stand while others sit. That's your inner drive returning. Not forced. Not tracked on a device. Just part of who you are again. Checkmark: you stop apologizing for your age. This one is big. You no longer say, "Sorry, I'm getting old." You stop making jokes about your back, your knees, your memory. Instead, you move with quiet certainty. You hold your space in the room. You speak when it matters, and you're not performing for anyone. Because the strongest men I know don't try to look strong. They feel it, from the inside out. So no, strength isn't about muscle size. It's about energy. Presence. Stability. Self-respect. Strength is when your body stops being something you manage and starts being something you trust again. And when that trust comes back, you won't need anyone else to notice. Because you will. If you've been feeling tired, drained, like your body just can't bounce back the way it used to, I need you to hear this, loud and clear. You're not weak. You're underfed. Not just in calories. Not in protein shakes or vitamins or pills. You've been underfed in the things your body needs most to rebuild: movement, nutrients, rest, challenge, and purpose. Let's break this down. Cooking: your muscles aren't shrinking because you're old, they're shrinking because they're not being used or nourished. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to protein timing. If you don't eat high-quality protein within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, your body starts breaking down muscle tissue, not out of failure, but because it's trying to survive. Every skipped breakfast, every day of just coffee, is another quiet message to your muscles. We don't need you anymore. But when you start feeding your body what it remembers, 20 grams of protein in the morning, whole foods, and small resistance challenges, those fibers wake back up. Your system says, finally. We're rebuilding. ZZZ*. You're not tired because you're old. You're tired because you're not recovering*. Your deepest recovery, hormonal, neurological, muscular, happens during sleep. And guess what destroys that? Late-night caffeine, screen time, high cortisol, skipping evening wind downs without deep sleep. Your testosterone flatlines. Your muscles don't repair. Your energy the next day starts at a deficit. But once you restore rhythm, with evening stillness, early protein, and real recovery, your energy doesn't feel fragile. It feels earned. Person lifting weights*. You don't need more supplements. You need better signals*. Testosterone doesn't rise because you take something. It rises because you move, lift, sleep, eat, and live like a man who still needs strength. Most men over 60 don't have a hormone problem. They have a disuse problem. They stopped lifting. They stopped challenging themselves. They stopped asking their body to show up, so it stopped offering. But when you bring back the signal, even in small ways, you get the response. Every time. So no, you're not fragile. You're not too far gone. You're not less of a man because you've slowed down. You're just underfed, physically, emotionally, biologically. And that's fixable. Because the moment you start feeding your body what it truly needs, you'll feel it respond faster than you thought possible. You're not finished. You're just waiting to be refueled, in the right way, at the right time. And that next meal, next movement, next breath of self-respect? That's the beginning of your rebuild. Power doesn't always roar. It doesn't always show up in big muscles, loud voices, or perfect routines. Sometimes, real power is quiet. It's the way you move through your morning. The way you care for your body. The way you walk into a room, calm, steady, aware. And after working with hundreds of men over 60, I've found that strength returns not through intensity, but through consistency. What follows is a simple daily ritual, built for your body, your brain, and your season of life. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't require a gym. But if you follow it for just 1 week, you'll feel the difference in how you carry yourself. Let's build your quiet power, one step at a time. Sunrise morning, set your frame checkmark. Step 1. Stand tall for 60 seconds as soon as you rise, before anything else. Feet flat, shoulders back, chin parallel. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Feel your body reclaim space. This tells your nervous system, we're leading today, not reacting. Checkmark. Step 2. Warm water plus protein before coffee. Before distractions. Drink a full glass of warm water. Then eat 20 to 30 grams of protein. Examples: 2 eggs plus avocado, Greek yogurt plus seeds, protein smoothie with almond milk and spinach. Why? Because this isn't just breakfast, it's a signal to your body, you're being fed. You are worth fueling. Checkmark. Step 3. Move something. Lift a gallon of water. Carry your laundry basket with purpose. Do 5 push-ups at the kitchen counter. Just 1 minute of intentional resistance reminds your body, we're still building. Sun midday, keep the spark alive. Checkmark. Step 4. Take a post-lunch walk, even 5 minutes. Shoulders relaxed. Eyes up. Let your body digest, realign, and re-energize. This reduces cortisol, clears your mind, and resets your mood, without needing more caffeine. Checkmark. Step 5. Hydrate plus reflect. Mid-afternoon, drink water again. No sugar, no distractions. And take 60 seconds to ask, what have I done today that made me feel strong? It could be a posture shift, a boundary you held, or just getting outside. Power lives in acknowledging your progress. Crescent moon evening, protect your recovery. Checkmark. Step 6. Shut down with intention. 1 hour before bed, no screens. Stretch your arms overhead. Roll your shoulders. Breathe in silence. Checkmark. Step 7. Sleep like you mean it. Dark room. Cool temperature. No caffeine after 2 p.m. No heavy food too late. Let your body do what it's been waiting to do all day. Repair, rebuild, restore. This ritual isn't about checking boxes. It's about building rhythm, the rhythm that rebuilds your identity. Because when you move with intention, fuel with care, and rest with discipline, you don't just feel better. You remember who you are. You return to the man you were always meant to be, calm, capable, and commanding without ever raising your voice. That's quiet power. And it's yours, every day you choose it. If you've made it this far, if something in this message stirred a quiet voice inside you, then you already know, strength doesn't leave a man, it waits for him. It waits behind the hesitation. Behind the story that says, that part of me is gone, but it's not gone. It's simply been waiting for your permission to return. For years, maybe decades, the world has told you what strength is supposed to look like. Lifting heavy, moving fast, pushing hard, staying silent. But you've lived enough life to know, none of that defines real strength. Real strength is slower now. It's quieter. But it's deeper. It shows up when you choose to stretch instead of slouch. When you stand tall even if no one sees you. When you eat with intention. When you rest without guilt. When you stop apologizing for your age and start living like it's your badge of wisdom, not your burden. You don't need to be 30 again. You just need to show up for the man you are today. The one who's endured. Who's lost and rebuilt. Who still has something to give, to himself, to his loved ones, to the world. You are not a number. You are not a symptom. You are not a shadow of who you used to be. You are still in charge. You are still building. You are still strong. Not because of what you lift, but because of what you carry, with grace, with grit, and with presence. So take one breath today and declare, silently or out loud, my strength is mine to define, and I'm choosing to keep it. If this message meant something to you, comment below, still strong, and if you know a man who's forgotten who he is, share this with him. Because we don't need louder voices. We need more steady men. And you're already becoming one of them.